Alright, welcome again to Matters Corner. Here we discuss issues relating to relationship and marriage. We bring you updates in what is going on in the world around us. And today we'll be discussing this very interesting issue. It's already trending, like, seriously. And I'm talking about the Ben Bright marriage saga. I just want us to connect the dots here and then try to make reasonable judgment out of this very situation. So let's start with Bright Ben's post. He said, "Adultery, as shameful as it sounds, it is a life story. My pastor married my wife." Now, in his post, he made us to understand that he has been married to this woman for about 12 good years, and they have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Now you can start to imagine how come a marriage of 12 years becomes a pastor's saga. In one of his live broadcast, he made us to understand that he had issue with his wife and they were separated. Within this period, he met this pastor.
Adultery, and my pastor married my wife. I had a problem with my wife for a year. She left my house, and out of our settlement, she gave me a condition for me to rent an apartment outside my community before she would come back. And before then, I've been attending World Bank Assembly, Pastor Moses Adayo's church. I've been worshiping there from Roma Prosi to Eneka. And my wife gave me that condition. I accepted. I went and rent an apartment where I'm staying now. And she came back. I took her to World Bank. The first day we went to church, she went to church with me. I introduced her to the church members. After church service, I went to the pastor's office with her. I saw pastor, his wife, and I introduced my wife, Mrs. Tina Onyechi Bright. I introduced her to my pastor, Adeyayo Moses, with the wife. We were all happy.
After they came together, he took the wife to the pastor and the pastor's wife in their offices, and they welcomed the wife into the ministry and they gave her an appointment as well. At this time, the pastor and his wife were still together. That is another story alongside. Suddenly, this man came back from work, according to him, and his wife has moved out of the house with the 2 children, and this became issue. He was calling everybody, even the pastor, their pastor, to get involved and pray along and all of that. At a certain time, he said the pastor stopped picking his call, and this started getting more interesting. He blocked his line and all of that, and suddenly, wow! This man saw a picture online. His own pastor, whom he introduced his wife to, got married to his wife. And that is the issue. I mean, like, seriously, you introduce your wife to a pastor and then, boom, your wife became the wife of your pastor, a wife of 12 solid good years. That is interesting. So, the son of the pastor, who also is a pastor but has his own ministry, came out to tell us. He said, "Media, take note. My mother is yet to be divorced from her husband. So, whatever is going on now is like a drama to them." Like, according to him, in one of his live video, he made us to understand that the father and the pastor and his wife, who happens to be his own mother, had issue. They've been having issue, normal marital issue. And suddenly, at this time, the pastor issued a divorce, took them to court. So they are still in court. The court is yet to dissolve the marriage. And now, all of a sudden, from nowhere, the man got married. To whom? To one of his members' wife. Like, seriously, I can't just imagine that kind of situation. No, it's touching a lot of places. A lot of people are making noise all around, like, "Hey, pastor," and this, because it has to do with the church. We need to understand something, that the scripture is not in support of this heart. If this situation happens to be really true with every information we have here, this has to do with a personal thing. You need to start seeing people as human who need to just follow what the scripture says, and immediately you stop following what the scripture says. The title doesn't matter anymore. And this is what we need to all but need to understand in this case and in every other case that is related to this. While looking at all of this and looking at the comment, let me share a comment with you. She said, at least he is not a coward, wife beater, a wife molester, and all of that. According to what she's saying, if this is where the wife found peace, then she has right to stay. But what we are concerned about here is whether she's looking for peace somewhere or not. At least you have to divorce your husband first before getting married. Now the figure that she got married to, the pastor of the husband's church, how do we reason that? How do we bring that to the table? That you introduced your wife to a pastor, and at the end of the day, the pastor took advantage of that, of the issue you're having and all of that. No matter what is going on in their marriage, no matter how this guy is, why should it be the pastor that finally took the wife from this man? What do you think about the situation?